Morning. Welcome to a brand new week of going through the book of Acts. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and this morning it's my task to read to you from Acts chapter 7 verses 11 to 22. Hope everybody is doing okay, and here we go. Then a famine struck all Egypt and Canaan, bringing great suffering, and our ancestors could not find food. When Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent our forefathers on their first visit. On their second visit, Joseph told his brothers who he was, and Pharaoh learned about Joseph's family. After this, Joseph sent for his father Jacob and his whole family, 75 in all. Then Jacob went down to Egypt, where he and our ancestors died. Their bodies were brought back to Shechem and placed in the tomb that Abraham had bought from the sons of Hamor at Shechem for a certain sum of money. As the time drew near for God to fulfill his promises to Abraham, the number of our people in Egypt had greatly increased. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. He dealt treacherously with our people and oppressed our ancestors by forcing them to throw out their newborn babies so that they would die. At that time, Moses was born, and he was no ordinary child. For 3 months he was cared for by his family. When he was placed outside, Pharaoh's daughter took him and brought him up as her own son. Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was powerful in speech and action. So here we are mid-speech as Stephen is talking to the heads, the leaders of the Sanhedrin. I read through from chapter 6 to almost the end of chapter 7 on my own. And I noticed a few things. That in chapter 7 verse 1, the Sanhedrin ask this question to Stephen: are these charges true? And as you read through, there's something that really stands out. Stephen had a great opportunity to defend himself, but instead he unfolds the story of God from Abraham to that present day. He tells people how God has led, how God has promised, and how God sent a deliverer. And that was his plan from the start. From the moment Adam and Eve took that bite from the forbidden fruit, there was a plan of restoration, of reconciliation. At no point, even with ample opportunity, did Stephen defend himself. Not one point. You never hear him plead his cause. Instead, he makes Jesus known. Understanding for Stephen was that this could lead to his demise. It could lead to death. But still he endeavours to prove the promise and the lineage of Jesus. I couldn't believe that. After all that opportunity to say, look, this is who I am. Not once does he stand up for himself. Never. He doesn't ever once proclaim all his achievements. And not once does he defend his character. I think how different we are as people today. We're so good today for not just defending ourselves, but shouting our corner. The world has completely changed, or perhaps we as Christians have completely changed. We're in an age where we very much promote ourselves. But Stephen, as a follower of Jesus, promotes God, promotes Jesus, promotes what Jesus came to do at all cost. He takes the opportunity to make Jesus known, whatever the cost. And that really makes me think. I don't know about you this morning, but it truly makes me think. Paul says in Philippians 1:21, he says this line, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." And I thought about Stephen at this point, that he was living that out. Later on, whoever is speaking on the next few verses, we'll find at the end of chapter 7, is that Saul, who becomes Paul, who actually says, "For me to live is Christ and to die is gain," was present at the stoning of Stephen. I find that incredible. The whole thing incredible. For me right now, I'm dressed, I'm ready to go to a funeral, to help out at Bethel this morning. And I just want to leave with this question that I'm also asking myself. I ask myself this, and I ask you to ask yourself this. For me to live is Christ. Is that true? Is that true for you? And to die is gain. Is that true? Is this life all that there is? And is Jesus preparing us for something so much more than what we experience now? But while we're here, will we do like Stephen? Make a stand. Make a stand. And not go down that line of, hey, self-promotion. Look at me, look how good I am. But will we go down that line of, it's all about Jesus, and I'm here to promote and to speak up for him, no matter the cost. I hope you have a really good Monday, but I really pray that you have a very good week ahead. Take care and God bless you. Bye.